Now, to push back a little bit, I would say that it does appear to seem that Israel is not necessarily innocent all the time as well. In the sense of this is, when I look at the situation, I realize that there's a lot of tension going on. So like when a drastic a catastrophic attack of some sort happens, then the other side will respond with another attack. And then hostility between each side continues to grow as the conflict, kind of continues to ensue. And so with that, I mean, if we kind of look at what's going on right now, so there's no doubt Hamas has committed, obviously some war crimes. But would you say that Israel's response in bombing Gaza and the marketplace and, apartment buildings and that sort of thing, if that is true, would that also be considered war crime as well?
No, it isn't, John, and I'll tell you why. The Palestinians, actually, even the UN, which is deeply anti-Israel, has recognized that Hamas uses civilian areas to mount attacks. And then it's deliberately trying to exploit any retaliatory fire for propaganda purposes. So it puts the rocket launcher in a schoolyard, shoots the rockets into Israel. Then Israel zeroes in on the rocket launcher and bombs it. And then the Palestinians go to the international press and say, look, they bombed our school.
Right.
And the press reports it uncritically. All the time, if you look at the coverage of the establishment media, you see Israel kills 5 Palestinians. And it doesn't tell you until paragraph 32 that those guys were jihadis who were firing guns at Israeli civilians or something. And it's presented as if it were this out of the blue gratuitous attack. So it's no wonder Mark Lamont Hill would think this is what's going on in Israel. This is how it's reported. But the reporting is consistently inaccurate. The Palestinians also have a very sophisticated propaganda machine. And I've been tracking this for many years. You can find a lot of exploration of this in my book, The Palestinian Delusion. But what you find is, for example, there will be a picture of a little girl, pretty cute little girl, and some Palestinian journalist will put it up on Twitter and say, this is so-and-so who is 2 years old and was killed in an Israeli bombing last Thursday. And then all the comments are expressions of sympathy and outrage toward the Israelis. And then you find out a week later that the same picture was used in Iraq in 2018, and it's an Iraqi girl who has nothing to do with Israel or the Palestinians. And her picture was taken and misrepresented deliberately by these Palestinian journalists in order to smear Israel. There was an American girl, as a matter of fact, who was used that way a few years ago, and the mom finds pictures of her on Twitter saying she's been killed, and she was actually alive and well in Minnesota or someplace, and had no idea, but they'd gone into Facebook and found her picture at random and started using it in propaganda.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, what would you say to those who consider